Huge.
About 12 feet in the air just to clamp on a live stream. Going above and beyond for the people at home watching the live stream.
I mean, when you're playing in a major, we want a show.
Yeah, I get that, right?
Speaking of a major, right, as you guys are talking about, congratulations on the big W down in Kentucky.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. Kentucky threw a great tournament. The winery was awesome. I didn't know what to expect, honestly. Hospitality, just like every other community or every other person in the bocce community, unreal. But
yeah, it's lots of fun. Loved the area, loved the community. I think they did a great job.
Your kids loved it.
Kids loved it.
They were having a ball.
They went to the horse park.
Paolo and Antonella played in the skills competition.
Nice.
Both got knocked out early.
Both got knocked out early.
You were probably working with them the next morning on those same courts.
He was biting his lips, kicking the dirt. In
mad
Cugini fashion.
Biggie has a picture of Paolo like focusing and me right there like on him.
Yeah, the whole family. It's actually a great picture.
Yeah.
It's like Paolo focusing to shoot, and then it's like Anthony nervous, like Francesca leaning in, and Paolo, everyone looking.
Well, this is Paolo's second skills competition.
Yeah.
So now he thinks every bocce tournament he's getting in a skills competition.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So the first one, for those listening, we were in Detroit for the ABC Open, and we'll dive into all these. But the ABC American Bocce Company was so nice to let Paolo come in because it was very busy. They were trying to get everything moving time crunch wise. And I think that was the highlight of the tournament for me, was everyone surrounding that court to see Paolo do the hitting portion of the skills competition.
Yeah, it was crazy.
People were chanting,
ole, ole, ole.
ole, ole, ole. Like, I would have been nervous if I was in the court, truly. And
He hit 3 of the 6 Polinos.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
3 of the 6?
He hit 3 of the 6 himself.
Yeah.
Nice.
The kid was practicing for like 2 hours the
It's
day
in his
before.
blood, baby.
He cannot wait to play. He asked me every tournament, can he play?
That's awesome. It's our farm system, like the Cleveland Indians, baby.
All right.
Guardians, excuse me.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do. Hey, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, hopefully it all works out. If not, you're listening. But this is our new setup here. We're hopefully going to have more of these video podcasts we're going to be able to throw up on YouTube. That way you guys can actually watch it. Hopefully we can get creative with it, include some bocce shots, talk through them, have some live shows, stuff like that. So with the help of you guys, we've been able to kind of update our equipment and go from there. We are at the Columbus Italian Club. Currently going on, guys, is the King of the Court tournament. So last year we started this King of the Court, and this is the second year running. I believe we had around the same amount of guys join, so it's a good turnout. 45,
Around
46
40,
guys.
yeah, around 40 people this year.
Yep.
Several games tonight, 6, 7, 9 o'clock, 6, 7, 8, and 9 o'clock slots. So
members only. It's our second year doing it, like Chris said. So it's just a lot of our club has gotten a lot more competitive over the years. Teams that are players are starting to shoot more. Most of you listening probably, what do you mean they didn't shoot before? Yeah, they did not really shoot before prior to us really joining the club. But now you see people practicing on the off days and whatnot. It's exciting. People want to play and want to get better.
Yeah, my favorite thing is when they come up to me, they go, hey, like this scenario is going on right now. What would you do? And it's like, all right, well, how many balls do you have? How many balls does the other team have? Go from there, and you work your way through the whole strategy of it all.
My favorite is when they ask you when they're playing you. It's like, no, I'm not going to tell you.
Well, that was Ed today.
Ed today, like, yeah, he's like, off the record. Off the record, if we weren't playing each other right now, what would you?
What
you
would
would roll
do?
it. He does what you did in high school when a teacher would help you on a test, and you're looking at the teacher and they ask you. It's.
All right, I got it. Yeah.
Forward.
100%. Zeus, did you win?
Hey, who won?
Friend of the pod. Okay. So
Thanks.
friends of the pod, John Panico and Mike Bizzuto played their King of the Court tonight, and John Panico won.
Yeah, you may recognize both of them, John and Mike. They frequent.
Yeah,
some
they go to
tournaments.
Cleveland, Alta House. They've
Yeah.
both been. Jerry's. John's going to Jerry's this weekend. Yeah, we're in the top 12 in our KOC after tonight, so we're
getting
there.
down to
Yeah,
it.
we're
The
down to top 12.
nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
So we're all left, right?
Yep, we're all left.
Chris, reigning champ.
Yep, Chris reigning champ from last year. Pretty much everyone I expected, I would say. Maybe one new person to that. Number 3 and 4 of last year already got eliminated. So
Just like that.
Yep, just like that. But like you said, competition's getting better.
Yeah, I almost got eliminated.
I almost lost too. So I will say the competition is getting fierce here.
Yeah, it's fun to see. Truly is.
100%. All right, fellas. So our last podcast was pre-Carmstrong tournament. So we had Darren Landis, Carmen Marinucci on. Carmen was he's obviously on. He's a bocce bro, but he was with Darren in person. That's why I said that. But that was a great pod, and then we've really taken a month off, and that's just because of how busy it is. I mean, if you look back at all the tournaments since then, you've had one every weekend basically, and
It's been a grind.
it's just been tough. So
It's too much bocce, guys. Get a life. Oh, my God.
The Carmstrong, though, I will say, thanks to Mike Romeo, the streaming was amazing
Phenomenal.
for that setup.
yeah.
We got so many compliments.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't happen, honestly. Well, obviously, without all of you home, but Mike Romeo and all the support we get from, the tournaments.
And the sponsors.
MVR allowing us to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
they
Just giving us the freedom.
it's a two-way street saying, hey, we need you guys, and we needed them, and it worked out beautifully.
I mean, I got a message, I think, from someone that said, I've never been able to watch my dad play. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was about Felice,
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
There was a couple comments I just screenshotted that were just like, I haven't been able to see, so-and-so
I
play.
got it right here.
Yeah?
I loved watching my daughter Vanessa play in the Gold Championship game. Wish I
Yeah.
could have seen them more,
Yeah.
more of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
right?
that was from the ABC. I mean, so what's been happening is we have these tournaments. We're getting sponsors. That sponsorship money is really just helping us get better equipment and better setups for us to continue to stream. And, I think it's going well in the community. And I'm proud of us, and I'm happy that we're getting the support, and it's been great.
It's really what it's all about. I mean, if you guys go on, I know we push our apparel. We're selling our T-shirts for $20, the hats for $20, the sweatshirts for $30 to $35. We're basically breaking even when you
We pay the
factor in-
website.
Exactly. Of course, one day it would be nice to live off of bocce, but is that realistic? We'll see. But
No.
this isn't
No.
to fund our pockets. This is for us to highlight the game and for us to make these tournaments more exciting by streaming. So,
Without doubt. With that being said, thank you to some of our sponsors. The one we have right now for these upcoming October tournaments is Watertight Roofing. So shout out to him. And just to take a step back to Carmstrong, shout out to Jordan Volchko. Jordan Volchko was the photographer that day.
yeah.
A buddy of mine worked at Laraka's in Poland. He actually manages it there. So check it out, Poland, Ohio, Laraka's restaurant. But he's a great photographer. Shout out, reach out to us if you need to get a hold of him. But he does great work, and he's going to be continuing to do some photography for the Bocce Bros.
100%.
And
So
congrats to the Carmstrong winner. So I think, if I
yeah.
remember right, who was it, Chris?
Chris Federico, Felice Scala, Tony Melaragno Sr., and Jim DeFranco.
Yeah, that was we had them in our bracket.
We had a fun game against them. That was a fun one.
Probably one of the best
Truly
games.
a fun game, like energy-wise and just talent-wise. Great game.
100%. And then the week after that, you have two strong
Majors.
tournaments back-to-back, right? The Cleveland Challenge Cup of Bocce, which I wanted to give them a little bit of a shout-out, the Wycliffe INA, because I thought it was a pretty seamless tournament. The Tourney Machine app, I believe that's what it is.
Well-oiled machine.
It is so nice to, one, be able to see the rosters, and two, being able to see, okay, if we win, we play at this time. If we lose, we play at this time,
Yep.
right? And then
Yep.
you're able to just continue to review the app, see the brackets, see when you're going to play next, make sure you're there an hour early, all of that. So, and on top of that, they also have the board that you can go up to and see, okay, game 167, 8, and 9 are playing right now. We're game 172, so I'm going to be here, we're going to be playing soon. It was very organized in my opinion, which I think is very important for these tournaments, especially when you have 100-plus teams.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You got to get through 299 games, I think. I mean, that's quite a feat in 3 days. So,
Yeah.
shout out to them for doing that.
Yeah, but that was a good tournament. Anthony and I, me, you, and Carmen, we were all on separate teams due to scheduling conflicts. We originally thought when we were signing up, but I had a good time playing with some new guys. Shout out to Danny Catullo, Angelo Catullo, and Robbie Lewis. We had a good showing, but overall that was
What were
just
some of the highlights? Because I wasn't there. I had a wedding. so I had to miss it. Was there any highlights? Like,
yeah.
Was there Mora played? Was someone so drunk that they fell over?
I'll have to
someone
incorporate the Mora
follow
videos.
someone into a
Chris has
different
a lot of the Mora
restroom?
videos.
So Dante's highly involved in the Mora games, and I kind of sit on the side because I'm like, all right, uno, due, tre, quattro. You know,
It's tough,
Chris is
man.
counting his head before he has to throw it.
yeah, I look get a
Spanish. Chris took
calculator out.
Spanish.
I've never really tried it. Right? If you want to try it, obviously I know how to count 1 through 10 in Italian, but
right now.
it's being a uno, due, tre, quattro. So, brr. So, in order to, you just have to put yourself out there, just like at a bocce game. Like, don't be nervous, just go out there and play. So that's what we did, and I had a blast doing it. Especially there was this older gentleman that they brought in, and he went down the line and he kicked everyone's butt, and then just waved everybody goodbye after he won.
That's funny.
But some of the highlights, Dante, I feel like, Anthony, I don't know if you remember, there are some big teams that dropped pretty early.
Yeah, there were. I mean, there was good games. I mean, the brackets were, I would say, pretty evenly based. Jose played in it, so I know we'll probably get to the ABC tournament where he won that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Jose played in it, and I think they went out a little earlier than expected, I would say.
I mean, they had a target on their back.
They
so
did. They
no
did.
matter what, no matter if they were to lose at any point in the tournament, whether it's the first round or the second to last round, that's a shock, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just that good.
But I mean, everyone. I like I said, I think bocce competition is just becoming better and better. So you just never know. Actually,
it's way more widespread. Way more.
yeah, it's who
popular
shows
than-
up and how you play, and you get a couple unlucky breaks, and before you know it, you lose.
And who ended up winning that tournament?
We have Nick Scara. Sorry if I screw your names up here. Ed Emmanuel, I don't know. Tony Artino, excuse me. Paul Lewis the third.
You got
And
the
Paul
last
Lewis
one,
the
right?
third. I found the Facebook post, and I was going to repost it after he won. His comment was, "I just plan on drinking all weekend because I don't think my team's going to go far."
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
He
I'm gonna
wins
start,
it.
I'm gonna start saying that. Must be
They win the whole thing.
funny.
But ABV obviously always has a target on their back. They ended up losing to Versace Law first game. That game was packed, I remember. But then ABV makes
Court
it all.
9,
Yep.
too.
ABV makes it all the way back to Sunday. I mean,
Yep.
shout out to them.
I gotta bring this up because I feel so bad. There's nothing you can control. Shit happens, and if anyone can relate, it's us here who run streams where things happen or data runs out. It cuts off. It was 15-15, right, in the
Yep.
final game.
Yep.
I'm watching it, and just like anything else, it cuts off. But what the funny part, I mean, it's not that funny, but after the fact, it is pretty funny. Someone unplugged the ATM, which the Wi-Fi is connected to.
Yeah. They
So
killed the
someone goes in,
Wi-Fi.
They said, "Who unplugged it?" And he's like, "I did. Why?" You know?
Oh, no.
And you know how long it takes to restart
Oh,
everything?
yeah, so
Make sure you talk in.
sorry.
By then, the game was over.
yeah, so I mean, no one's fault. This shit happens, but it just we understand.
But I mean, a contract with the Bocce Bros next year probably makes the most sense.
we'll make sure. Yeah, we'll make sure that.
I heard there were some comments left in some of the feedback surveys that people want the Bocce Bros, but
Bring it on.
we'll let them
Love it.
take care of that.
Love to do it.
Yeah.
So what was after that,
We
Chris?
should be a well-oiled machine by then.
So we had Wycliffe, and then we went to ABC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were more between then, right? I just highlighted ABC because you guys played in it.
Yep, Palazzo, my first time there.
So yeah, Anthony, I wanted to ask you because I went to Palazzo last year.
Yep.
We won the silver division.
Yep.
What did you think of the venue? Start there.
The venue was amazing to walk into a place that has 9 courts, 90 feet long. Courts were, I would say, pretty true to how you roll. And you know what? Honestly, it really shows who knows how to play bocce and who doesn't there. I mean, there's no like, oh, it hit a rock or, oh, the shot bounced over. Like, no, you're either good or bad. You're going to find out real quick.
Yeah. I like how they run the tournament there. You get 6 games.
Yeah, the group you get
guaranteed.
the kind of first game, the group play, and then the group play into a single elimination.
Hmm.
So I mean, it was great setup, great time, number of games you play. It was great. It was awesome.
So that last year, the silver championship, I have to clear. I have some things. I have some gripes. I want to clear that.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
We got a lot of shit when we got back to Youngstown, Cleveland tournaments. Oh wait, what's up, Silver Division champ? What's up, Silver Division champ? And I had to explain, like, hey, first time playing synthetics. I'm a year into this competitive stuff. Plus, that team we played was undefeated before we played them. But all they saw was the game where we so luckily
Demolished them.
We skunked them 12, 14, whatever the case was, but that does not show how good those players were. I try to explain that, but no one's going to hear it, right? No one heard it.
Especially because people like to bust your balls.
Yeah. And for a whole year, I dealt with it, whatever. And then this year comes about, and both of those teams that are in the championship are the Bocce Bros, or some form of the Bocce Bros, and what were their names? Now I can't remember. I'm forgetting now. But regardless, the team that we played went to the gold division. They ended up beating Jose Boto, Hunter, Scala, Natale Scala, and who was their fourth?
I can't remember.
I know, sorry.
Yeah.
They ended up beating them in the play-in rounds.
Yep. Who was in my bracket. So I had to play Jose, them, and another team.
So just for one right there, to beat them is really hard to do on their own home courts.
Yep.
But then what did they end up doing? Going all the way to the championship to play them again.
Wow.
Only to, play a really, really good game against them. Unbelievable. So it's like Anthony LaBarbera, Vanessa, Julian, and then, Nick, I believe. I'm forgetting names now all over. I'm sorry, but shout out to them. But it's more so what the summary of all this is they were actually worked hard to get better. They practiced. They played in the Nationals.
They played together for a while, right?
Yes, they stuck together, and so shout out to them. They really made a huge improvement on all levels.
So it was the same team? They stuck together?
They stuck together.
Oh, that's nice.
What's that feel like?
Hey, we're busy. Schedule's busy. But yeah, so that tournament was awesome. Shout out to American Bocce Company, Alex Guerra and the crew, Alicia, Matt, Andy, all of them. It was good times, for sure.
I know. Hopefully I can go. I have a gripe with the tournament. Don't have it on a college football Saturday.
Well, you're pretty much out for all September, October, November.
Move it to like the spring if you guys can.
I mean, I will say places indoor have it when it's cold.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. I mean, definitely something you should experience one time, Chris. It's definitely worth it.
No, I know. I would love to go. I mean, there's so many tournaments. That, Vegas, right? The Dallas tournament you guys are going to. Well, we touched on it, right? There's so many tournaments. You just.
I mean, I built an Excel spreadsheet for next year, and I think what I say, there's outside of the holidays, there's maybe 4 open weekends. It's crazy.
Right.
And the open weekends are like Valentine's Day because you don't want to get yelled at.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing. People are like, oh, there's too many tournaments. You don't have to play in all of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they get filled every week for the most part. I know there has been some tournaments recently, and I think it's because when you have a tournament after that stretch, right, after all the majors, after that June, July, August stretch, it's just very tough. I don't know when a good time is, but a lot of people I feel like take that September a couple weeks at least.
Yeah, there's a couple guys from Youngstown that took the whole month off.
It's a good time to
we're
take
not
a
going to
break.
play. I'm just going to play all month September. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
So what do we have? Was there any other tournaments?
No. I mean, we, the few that we have coming up here, guys, we already touched on our King of the Court tournament that we're doing here. Where hopefully, if you guys are interested, the game should get better. So we're going to be live streaming as long as our Wi-Fi can hold up. We have the Italian Festival. Molisani is coming up.
Yep, the Alta House.
House
up in the Columbus Cup.
Jerry's. Shout out to Mike Chapullo. He, Jerry, and all those guys up there. I know they're having the women's tournament. You guys are going to a tournament this weekend up at Jerry's house.
And then the high stakes.
And then the high stakes, October 22nd.
It's a stretch already.
We're back in it.
We're back in it again.
Back into it.
Yeah, you got your month off.
And then we got the main event of the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun.
What is the date before we dive into the Ryder Cup?
Yeah.
What is the exact date?
So the date they want to hold is December 3rd.
Okay, so before we dive into the Ryder Cup, then I want to take a step back because we have a couple things before then, right?
Yep.
I want to I want to preview Dallas a little bit. We're gonna have an episode where we really dive into it and have Big E on.
Yes.
Yeah. But shout out to Big E,
one of the nicest guys.
God, he's so nice. I love him.
He's so nice that you can't even hate him.
No, never, no matter what. But this tournament sounds like it's gonna be so fun. I took a look at the room we're doing it in. It is on carpet, but they're gonna have the wood there, and it's pretty true.
He's bringing masseuses in for 3 hours for the bocce ball players
I love that.
to have back massages.
Espresso bar for free, or it's inclusive in the entry. Buffets each day.
Unlimited alcohol.
Unlimited alcohol after 4 p.m.
Unlimited, yeah.
It just
Food, pretty much.
With the saying, everything in Texas is bigger, and Big E's following suit with that saying for sure. But not to mention, first place gets championship belts, belt buckles, 4K. That's $4,000.
And a name a horse.
High definition, and the naming rights to a thoroughbred racehorse.
Ooh.
He was in Kentucky with us, Big E. He played on a different team, and he was in Kentucky for bocce, but also he bought 2 to 3 horses.
Yeah, he bought 3 horses that weekend.
What?
Dropped in a couple bucks.
What's homeboy do?
He's a dentist.
He's an
eye doctor.
dentist.
He's an
eye
eye doctor.
doctor.
Sorry, eye
He's an
doctor.
eye doctor, but he also owns horses and a stable, I believe, too.
Nice.
Yeah. He did say Mountaineer is where horses go to die. I asked
Yeah.
him about Mountaineer because they were from Youngstown. We used to go to Mountaineer.
I think we got to get Chris to the Dallas tournament.
Chris
I
Lovell.
have
He plays bocce.
personal matters, family matters.
Family, yes.
Family.
Family comes first.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll catch the next 100 tournaments.
Or you
coming
just bring your family with you.
up. As Anthony does.
Well,
Oh my God.
Just pack them up.
As a whole caravan.
My poor kids.
Well, hey, they're obviously doing well in the
They're going to be
skill
up and coming
challenges.
soon.
So funny.
All right, so this Ryder Cup, so December 3rd.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just going to kind of give a rough format real quick.
But explain to people that aren't from maybe the Ohio area what's going down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we've asked for is Ohio and PA people, Ohio and PA only, to sign up if you want to be part of a draft. The draft is a list of people that the 4 captains can pick from. So there's 4 captains that have been selected.
Who are?
That are Mike Cipulo, Jerry Flesher Jr., the unit, Eric, and Dante DeLisio. So those are your 4 captains right now. And of those 4 captains, they will pick, little details still to be figured out, let's say 12 to 14 people right now. So you're going to have teams of roughly 48 to 56 altogether picked. Right now the list is at 100. So essentially half the list won't make the cut. But once those teams are selected, everyone will show up on December 3rd, and you'll have kind of a Ryder Cup format. And I think you guys, since you guys play a lot of golf, I think you guys know what that is. You're essentially playing, country or captain in certain formats of games. So you'll have a 4-man walk, a 4-man 2-on-2, a doubles team, a singles team, and just a variety of that mix. First one to 8 points. So let's say 2 captains face off in the morning, 2 captains face off in the afternoon. The winners of both those flights go to the championship at night, and then you do the same thing over to win the grand prize of $12,000 or $13,000.
Wow.
So, I mean, to me, the $200, if you make the cut, you have a better chance of winning that than the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
So you already have a 25% chance of winning the whole tournament, which is better than entering any tournament.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just got to play good.
I'm just looking forward to who's going to be so upset and post on Facebook.
Oh.
I didn't get picked. That team.
I get no respect.
That team only picked Cleveland, guys. Can you believe it?
I get no respect.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. Oh man, we might just open up a live podcast and have a hotline, a phone sitting right here.
I can't
where
wait.
We'll just pick up and
we
hear,
might have
hear
to do
you cry.
bocce therapy.
Let's do that
Or-
actually. A live podcast. We take calls.
Or when you're live streaming, someone rolls a bad ball. Should have picked me. Way better.
And they want to do this draft. Most likely it'll be October 14th. There is maybe another date out there, but
So this is a big one here. Go ahead.
they want to do it early because, one, we want to go to the high stakes and these other tournaments kind of with that chip on your shoulder, like, oh, you didn't pick me. All right, let's go, buddy. I'm playing you now.
Which is surprising because, I mean, maybe it's not. They've been in the game so long, they know basically who the good players are and who they want. But I would think maybe, okay, let's see who performs on the high stakes. Let's see who performs on some of these tournaments before December 5th. But I do enjoy the trash talk beforehand.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be interesting. Only 12 people per team. So, what, 12, 24, 36, 48 people picked?
48 to 50. We're still determining just some game times. Is the
Logistics,
problem.
some
Yeah,
logistics,
game
gotcha.
times. But, yeah, I mean, right now I got Columbus, PA, Youngstown, Cleveland, and one Ashtabula. So
It's
we'll
gonna be
see.
interesting. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. What isn't there another, now not to take away from that one, there's another like team versus team event going on, right?
There is, I think, October 8th or 7th.
PA versus Youngstown,
Yep.
right? Now
Yep.
it's just like a
That's a
strictly
rider.
PA.
Yep.
Now the reason I brought that up is because the Bocce Bros are the proud, T-shirt sponsors of Youngstown Bocce. So shout out to Team Youngstown. Go ahead and kick some ass.
Yep. They reached out to us, asked us to
That's
make
the
shirts
bottom
for
line.
them. PA didn't, so
PA's gonna.
OHIO.
So what else we got going on?
Well, I want to ask you, who do you think's going to pick the better team in the Ryder Cup?
You got Eric, Dante DeLisio, Jerry, and Chipulo.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chipulo's picking all his boys. He's going with all his boys. Jerry's going to do a hybrid version of that. Unit.
I don't know what to think about Unit.
Unit's going to go sideways, I think, in a good way. Like, he's going to surprise some people. And Unit sees talent no matter what. Unit might, you might say some things outlandish, but some do land. And then Dante DeLisio?
Yeah.
I think Dante DeLisio will have a smart draft.
Yeah, same here. Not Unit, but it'll be interesting because, hopefully we're like Anthony said, we're going to do the draft and we'll be live while those guys pick and we'll, have this whole show for it. But being a captain could be tough because, you might have one of your boys on the list there.
Oh, for sure.
And you're like, I don't know, this guy's better than him. Who do I pick?
And who knows? All these guys might literally do that. They might just pick their 3 guys they play with. Literally, that might happen.
Yeah.
Or like 90% of that might
Which
happen.
I get. Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. But it should be fun.
If you're not picked, are you going to go up?
I probably will. Yeah, to run the as long as we're getting sponsors to run the live stream. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
If I'm not picked, go fuck yourselves. Better than half y'all out there. More than half
y'all suck anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be a good one. I have some random topics to discuss.
Throw them out. Throw one out. And see what sticks.
So I've noticed a lot of tournaments they try and get as many teams as they can.
They pack it in.
I don't know if they're trying to get, like, they see the Cleveland Challenge Cup and they're like, oh, I need to get to that level. Or it's like, I want to be considered a major. Let me get to that level. But they have these teams, this amount of teams, and tournaments are going till 3, 4 in the morning.
It needs to stop.
And my opinion on it is, like, I look at the JAC tournament. How many teams do they have? 40 to 50?
Anthony, do you know how many teams JAC had? I know you would know. Probably.
JAC had, 50-something, 56.
And, someone's like, well, that's not as many as blah, 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 blah. It's like, no. It's not the quantity of teams, right? It's the quality of teams in these tournaments. Or, as long as it's just a well-run tournament and it's highly regarded, which JAC obviously is, so or, a bunch of other ones out there. But to go till 3, 4 in the morning is miserable.
They don't even do it. They'll just stop. They won't play anymore, or even to 1 a.m. And we understand how tough it is to run a tournament. Yeah. Things also happen last minute where you have to go through it. But moving forward, this is like a speech for president. Moving forward, I think we just need to figure it out. Like, people should not be able to stay playing a sport past 1 a.m. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot. And, I know we want to grow the game and all of that, but...
Hey, by the way, we need you back at 8 a.m.
Yeah, that's...
Come on.
Right.
And you have 1 loss, so if you're out, you might not... You might just go home right after.
We got to start respecting the game a little more. Figuring out, respecting the people playing, coming to spend money, spend time at the venues. And, again, we've run a tournament where shit just goes sideways. And one team, had to wait, 6 hours to play the next game, whatever. But... do our best to not be playing at 1 a.m. It's rough.
Yeah, we're all trying to figure it out. I agree. And every tournament's different. Do you guys like the flights tournament, or do you like So, for instance, the flights like the Carmstrong, and I'm not comparing any of these
Mhm.
tournaments because Carmstrong is probably top 2-3 favorite of mine. So I'm just giving an example. Carmstrong's a flight. JAC and
Not a
Cleveland
flight.
Challenge
Not
Cup's
a
not a
flight.
flight,
I
right?
like flights.
You
Mainly
like
because
flights?
of convenience. Like, for instance, Molisani coming up, and this is bad because we shouldn't be playing it.
No, we should not.
But it's it's a business.
We're able to
thing.
go
Yeah,
Thursday.
So we have events going on Friday, Saturday, but we're able to play in a Thursday flight. And if we just happen to make it a Sunday, we just have to drive back Sunday.
Yeah,
So
right. So you're able to drive up Thursday, play your game. If you win, great. You get to enjoy Friday, Saturday with the family.
Yeah.
Sunday, you have to drive back up.
The downfall with the flights is, and I think we made a post about this, is you could pick an easy day to get to Sunday. The good thing around the not flights is it's kind of a random draw, so it averages out. Now, the argument is you have to play the good teams regardless. So even if you made it through your Thursday, you might just get wiped on Sunday. But then, like for us, the way we played in Carmstrong, we definitely should have been in Sunday. But we got two of the teams that made it pretty far.
Mhm.
We just had a tough bracket.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse.
strength the schedule.
Because you know what I said our team, I go, look, guys, if you can't win these games, why even show up to Sunday? Like, what's the point?
Right.
So
I mean,
you look at it one way or the other.
that's like the SEC compared to the Pac-12 in college football. You
Right.
know, if you're Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, whoever, and you have to go through, Bama, Auburn, whoever, A&M, whatever it may be, but you're Oregon and you're playing against Arizona State,
Right.
You have a better chance of going to the playoff.
Brings up the other question is what's the best way to run a tournament? Is it a double elimination? A lot of teams don't want to travel to the double elimination tournament. Some people want pool play. I know anywhere outside Ohio, PA, it's pretty much kind of in New York, some parts of New York. It's kind of like pool play I've seen. Like West Coast, ABC out in Chicago, they all do some type of round robin to get more games in, I feel like.
Yeah, I will say we travel a lot. And for us to drive and then play in something like a group play, it's a lot more worth our time versus just going somewhere and going 0-2, because those guys that live around there can go home 20 minutes and they're back with their families.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we have a little bit of disadvantage there, I will say.
Yeah, and it's tough. Double elimination is probably a lot easier.
Quicker.
I'm not a tournament runner.
So to go back to that question, I don't think there's one way each tournament should be ran because the flight tournaments are great. I think there are certain tournaments that need to be flights. I think there are other tournaments that need to be the group play. I was just curious, I guess, as to what you guys prefer. Like, I prefer both. They're like you said. There's this tournament coming up for Molisani. It's great because you're able to get up there Thursday, and if you win, you're back Sunday. But the Cleveland Challenge Cup, I like to make it a weekend. There for the whole weekend for the most part, as long as you win.
Yeah, like the JAC tournaments was experience, right? I mean, how fun was that?
I love it there.
Yeah.
I love being in Little Italy.
Yeah, that's true.
So another bocce topic I have that it wasn't just me. I was at a tournament and there was a lot of talk about this where there's a game going on and people are making sudden movements as someone's about to shoot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I feel like that do that.
And something got pretty heated. I think it was at the Cleveland Challenge Cup of bocce. And it's just
I must
like
have missed this.
one was this kid had his e-cigarette little vape thing and would take a puff and blow it when the opposing team was about to roll, and then when his team was rolling, you could tell he went the other way.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like we know what you're doing.
Some people are so dumb.
But it's like I just in the end focus on your shot and hit it, but
sportsmanship
there's
also, and there's just an annoyance factor of that.
It really bothers me when some of these guys just try every little thing. There's certain ways to get under people's skin. I get that, but little movements like that is just cheap in my opinion.
Cheap. It's not tasteful.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
IMO.
So, I was gonna get into some of these Facebook comments that were left.
Yeah, let's do it.
What was left? What was the question? What was the post?
My post was somewhere along the lines of, we've had several large tournaments recently. A lot of good things have come out of it, and I wanted to get people's opinion just on tournaments, how they're ran, the courts, stuff like that. And I'm not going to name any names right now. But one, she said her random 2 cents. She loves the game. She loves how it's growing more, but she's looking to see and play with more females. She's having trouble finding girls to play with and just female only leagues. Not leagues, excuse me, tournaments. Which I'm pretty sure Chapullo or someone involved with Jerry's is having an all-females tournament.
Yep, November 5th.
Right, so there you go. That's perfect.
I would say there's a couple females that have started to play more. Chris Federico's wife has been joining.
Shout out to
Kate. She's been joining more tournaments. I mean, I think you just got to kind of just do it, right? Just like kind of your Mora comment earlier, you just got to jump into the game. Like,
yeah, there are a lot of good female players out there. I mean, we've seen female teams beat some of the better male teams.
We've gotten beat by female players.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, it is tougher because, in a way, there's not many options. Like a lot more of the guys are the ones hosting the tournaments.
Yes.
But and there's just more guys playing, so there's more chances for guys to play. But with that being said, the game's growing for women right now, so I say it will get there at some point.
Yep.
Just when you more women playing and more women.
Yeah, they need to step up and say, hey, we're throwing a tournament this date, and 100%.
And I think if you ask, these Facebook groups are getting bigger, more widespread. I think someone will step up. Like if you're looking for a partner, or if you want to join a team, I mean, there's always someone looking for somebody.
Yeah. Right, 100%. I need to stop saying 100%. All right.
99%.
I'm going to say his name because I love him, Matt Estes.
He's an instigator.
He's
one of the best Facebook
instigator.
posters.
He's my favorite.
He's an instigator.
He knows local sports, which is what I like.
Yeah, that's where I get all my Youngstown information from, especially on Niles, which if you're watching or listening, Matt, Poland kicked Niles' butt the other Friday. So,
but Matt likes to just. Matt's one of those guys that got the knife and then just puts it in and just kind of turns
leaves just
a little
he's
bit.
He's like, someone else turn it.
And leaves. Yeah.
But I love it.
No, he said he's been playing competitively for about 5 years now, and he asked, has the competition level ever been this high? He said when he first started playing tournaments, it was the same few teams winning every tournament. He doesn't feel like that's the case any longer.
Competition level, I think, has stayed around the same. The the volume of it has gotten wider. So people have always been great. There have been some of the greatest, the JJs, the World Series. The Andra Brothers, like they've always been great, but now there's just more of them.
Yeah, I think that's what I think that's what he was. I think that's what he was alluding to. It's like there's not just 3 or 4 teams that are great. They're not. I don't think he was saying teams in the past aren't as good as teams are now. Those great teams, right? He just thinks are the volume, like you said.
I think now again, this is an opinion. I think we, the Bocce Bros, kind of put together a format where everyone can see what's happening. Then what happened is people said, hey, I want to start playing in more, which gets people better. And then as people get better, competition gets stiffer. And now it's like those same teams might not always be winning because more people are traveling, more people are playing. And then on top of that, you got this social media aspect of we're highlighting who's winning. So I think we've brought a little bit of change to that game where maybe Vandras and JJs, not to discredit them, but maybe people really didn't know what was happening and where it was happening. So there was only certain teams playing.
I met Mike Lapovich in person in Kentucky. And we spoke a little bit, and we're going to have him on this podcast at some point and talk about JJ's and the history there. But he has sheets from playing in the internationals or whatever it was, where they calculate every shot.
Oh,
so they say shot 1, within how many inches away. Mike Lapovich. Was it a roll? Next, was it a shot to hit? Where did the ball end up?
Do they measure each shot?
They have a ref. What was did your hit? But did it also get the point?
Oh wow!
And he's gonna give us some of those papers. And
we're
gonna
that's
have
cool.
Him on,
that's
for
cool.
Sure.
To go back to that, I think, and this isn't, I'm not trying to give ourselves a pat on the back, but us streaming the tournaments have, and, Chapullo's there too, right? Federico's always streaming. You got, all these people that have always been streaming, and now more bocce groups are coming about. So, social media has highlighted
Yes.
all of these tournaments, and people are being able to be like, oh, I have my phone. Let me go ahead and, put this game on, right? So they're able to see that. And also there's probably a tournament every week like we talked about.
Right.
So, it just allows for more teams, I guess, to play and to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next, the discussion time between shots has to be timed.
SVC.
I'm not even gonna say anything. I've harped on this every episode.
SCV, shot clock violation.
Yeah, shot clock. Next, I mean, yeah, but then who's gonna? Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it. I get too heated. You guys can handle this one?
You can get into it, but you don't have to get heated
I get
about
too
it.
heated.
I mean, I agree. There are times, and we've probably fallen there too once or twice. But there has to be some kind of time when it comes to it, because these games.
Tough.
These games can go forever, especially when. My favorite when it's just obvious. It's like, walk up to the ball. You have 4 feet. Roll in. Like, there's nothing else to do here. But, all right, I guess you guys don't want to talk about it. We have someone from California, and I'll just read it all. My concern is growing the game in my area and seeing the bocce community connect on a more meaningful level. My Italian-American club is an older bocce community, and how do we bring more youth to the game? When I watch these Ohio tournaments, I see a lot of youth and the older folks, plus women. I would love for the various bocce clubs or Italian clubs to connect and share tournament news and bocce news. Maybe that's us. It is us. Club Molisani seems like they have their act together.
They do.
Yep.
Shout out to them.
Are there any bocce clinics with guys like Jose Boto so folks can learn the rules and how to play? Anyways, just some thoughts.
A lot of good thoughts.
So his first thing is growing the game, right? And I replied to him basically saying we throw a 40 and under tournament. Obviously, I think Youngstown does this, St. Anthony's, where they'll have like a kids' day on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And you say your Italian club's older demographic. Well, make sure that they're welcoming the younger people, because that's highly important. Is to not say, oh, you're only 14, you can't play. No, let them play a game, show them the ropes. That goes a long way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think to his question on just expanding, I mean, it's kind of like the same theme around the women's, right? Like, you kind of just have to put yourself out there and say, like, hey, let's do this day, or hey, let's do this type of tournament, or hey, let's get people together. Even if they don't, really know the rules or the games, you just kind of got to promote it and see if it takes off. I mean, part of it is the area, part of it is, who you're going to get there. A lot of people don't play in these competitive tournaments, right? Like, we have a lot of members in the Italian club, but how many really travel? 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, right? Out of the 300 members here. But why is that? They like to play here, but they sign up for summer bocce, fall bocce, king of court. But maybe competitive is not their thing, so throwing something different, not about money, is maybe how you attract them.
Yeah. And that actually goes to this next comment where it's Northern California. He says he loves seeing the game grow in popularity, but he thinks we need to keep it fun for everybody, both experienced and less experienced players. And he explains how he has different divisions in these tournaments, and he does that, so...
That's like the different divisions MVR does, where Giuliano goes ahead and recruits 3 tournament player women, and then Robbie Lewis, one of the best rollers.
To win what? The bronze?
To win the
silver?
The B co-ed division at the MVR, where he barely edged out me, my dad, and, oh my God, hopefully they don't listen, but 2 women who can't hit the side of a barn 5 feet away from him with a bocce ball. So Giuliano Romeo.
Yeah, Giuliano's out here.
Shout out to Giuliano.
Our stepbrother.
He's like one of our favorite bocce bros. Come on.
He's the man. I just wanted to give him some shit.
That post got a lot of interaction, I will say.
Which one's that?
The one that Chris wrote. It was a good post.
Yeah, a lot of people.
103 comments. That was great. That's what it's about. We got to just keep communicating.
Yep. And then there's "Don't Cross the Line" from the one guy that just won't stop.
Which one? Who's that?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I almost responded to him. He's like, the rule says, listen, guy, there's not one set of rules. Maybe there is somewhere, right, and national whatever, but when you play in these tournaments, they're all different. So if the tournament rule is your back foot has to be behind the line,
Then it's your back foot.
It's your back foot.
When we went to Palazzo, it was front foot. I mean, it
And-
was just we followed the rules.
And if you're good enough to hit a ball, whether your back foot is over the line or not, you're fucking good enough to hit a ball.
right, you
Like-
still got to throw that line.
Right. So people are freaking athletes. We're able to figure it out.
That's why people sit behind computers and type,
Right.
because you'll never see them.
All right, next one. Do we keep going? You guys
Yeah,
good on
keep
these?
going. Yeah, keep going.
Wondering people's thoughts on teams making it back to Sunday. Would you rather see clean slates, or if you make it with one loss, you keep playing that going into Sunday?
I think this goes back to the flight versus bracket. If it's a
Flight.
flight,
Clean slate.
I would love a clean slate.
Yeah.
I think you come through an easy bracket on Thursday or a hard bracket on Saturday night.
I know some teams
Come back
that
with a clean
only
slate.
play Thursday, the local Thursday
Uh,
ones.
Yep.
I know too.
Just
And I know some teams that do it and didn't even make it out.
add like a winking sound here.
Yeah.
Big tournaments though, like Wycliffe, JAC, where it's one bracket. I think you just gotta.
No, you
Take
got to
your
keep
loss.
Yeah,
going.
that doesn't.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
The flights I can understand. I know Marco for NEO, he does a clean slate.
I love that. You
Yeah.
know,
Marco's a good tournament runner. Shout out to Marco.
Yeah.
Good
he's
young-
got a
on.
couple coming up.
good young man.
Good young man. We'll get Marco on, right?
Yeah.
I don't like him enough to get him on.
Next one, which we've touched on this. Measurements.
Anytime.
Oh, measure any time or not.
Yeah.
Next.
Let me see. I want to see the rest of his comment.
Mhm.
Okay, so he said other tournaments say you can measure any ball at any time.
That's what
Do you
we did
think
this
any
weekend.
ball, anytime? You like that?
We did that this weekend. It changes the game a little bit because it gives you an advantage to have a ball back. Again, I think this is like the shooting thing. You tell me what the rules are, I'm
Yeah,
going to play by them.
agreed.
I don't really care.
Agreed
I mean,
there.
that's how I am. I don't
Yeah,
really
no
care.
I'm with you. Here's the one thing where I think it could cause a little different there. Different, yeah, whatever. We were in Wycliffe, and we weren't sure. There were 3 balls. 2 were ours, 1 was the other team. We weren't sure which one was our first point and which one was our second point.
Yeah.
And we were trying, and they were all in a similar
Kinda,
area, right?
yeah.
So it's like, well, which one do you measure? So we had a guy come over, a rule judge, and I'm not blaming him at all because he had to do this. But he's like, well, I think that one's closer, so measure that one. I'm like, well, I don't,
Yeah.
that one looks closer to me.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So I just, in certain scenarios, that might not be the case, but it is what it is. The Paulino throw, whatever. My Eric, aka the unit. We create this post, and you think he's gonna come in with something, right? He just says dress code ? Some people dress bad.
Yeah.
Should be more dressy of a sport.
I completely agree, Eric. It's a valid point. Look all over the world. No one else wears like cutoffs or tank tops. Yeah, Ron Dog calling you out. It's a very well.
You know, it's funny. We went to
sport.
Palazzo, and I looked at all the USBF people. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
man, these guys wear pants
It's like suit pants
and a polo, and I'm here in shorts
Yeah.
and a T-shirt.
Yeah, I felt bad last year. I was on the live stream with a backwards hat, like a hoodie on, shorts.
I don't,
And you won.
Yeah, we won.
it's tough. I don't
Way
know.
more comfortable.
Just play how I want to play.
I've played in a dressier environment, and I hated it.
Yeah.
And then I went to athletic gear, and it was much better for
Yeah,
me.
I
think
feel-
we
I feel
all need
comfortable.
track suits. We all need to play in track suits.
Ooh, a little tracksuit with like a tucked-in T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Official. The last one I had is a guy saying, I loved watching my daughter, Vanessa, in the gold championship game. I already mentioned this comment, but I just think it's cool.
Vanessa's awesome also.
And
Hell of a roller.
other than that,
I've had
we-
Renato's daughter reach out to us and say, I've never been able to watch him play.
Isn't
Thank
that
you so
amazing?
much. I mean, I've had so many comments. Then we have tournaments where people aren't streaming. They're like, are the Bocce pros there?
Yeah.
Are they there? Why aren't they streaming? Where are they? What are they doing?
Joe's today's our family. They had a wedding, and the next day Joe's in the championship at the MVR.
Yes.
And they had, there's a picture. We'll have to
The
post,
whole family.
We'll post this picture, but there's
Yeah.
like 20 people in the living room, literally just surrounded around the TV, watching Joe in the championship, cheering.
that
him
was
on, which is
great.
Yeah, that was
freaking
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, unbelievable. Shout out to them. Thank you for the support.
That's why we do it.
And shout out to Russ for placing second again in a tournament.
Yeah, Russ every weekend, Russ is placing second in the tournament somewhere.
And he likes to text me and say, guess what I did this
Yeah.
weekend? I go, let me guess. You placed
funny.
second.
Yeah.
No respect in Cleveland, Russ. No respect.
That is all I had for my little itinerary here, guys. Anthony, you said you had a few comments you wanted to make. Is that still the case?
Yes. About what, though? I can't remember. Let me think about it.
We can figure it out. We can shoot the breeze until.
I had questions for you guys. That's what I had. So we touched upon the rider a little bit. I want to make you guys mock captains right here. I want you to pick your top 4 people. Who are you picking?
My phone at. Hold on, let me get the list out.
We got to get this list out.
top 4 people.
Come on, you don't know the top 4?
You sent me an email, right?
I did.
So are we
is
going-
Dennis playing in it?
Dennis is playing. I mean, your normal people are playing. So let's just your top 4.
Are we going top 4 in general?
Yeah, you just pick your if you could just pick your top 4 right off the bat. Who would you be putting on your team in this Ryder Cup?
Okay. So
Dom Aveni, Michael Ferbata, Dennis Renat, Anthony Croce.
You're just gonna pick ABV straight
Why
up.
not? At that point, you got the most chemistry. You got the shit ton of championships.
All right, Dante picked ABV.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the right.
I'll go while Chris looks.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd probably go just because the events that have happened, right? Because you might have a solo match, you might have a doubles, a 4-man. I'm definitely taking Dennis and Croce if I could right off the bat.
Half of ABV.
I would take Frank DeSillo
Yeah,
because he plays solo, doubles, 4-man.
Yeah, that's a smart pick.
And probably my 4th would be Capogreco. My guesses in this draft,
That's smart.
somehow, some way, those 4 will be the top 4.
That sounds honestly that sounds about right, and I would have to follow suit with that one.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. There's other players because we do the players list together. I mean, I know what other people can do, but all around players, I feel like those guys can play doubles, singles, 4-man, and gel with really anybody.
Yeah. I mean, Dennis and Croce stick out, obviously. So does Frank. But I think when you initially asked the question, I was thinking, all right, who's my favorite pointer? Not favorite, but who's the best pointer? Second,
Yeah.
first shooter,
Yeah.
third.
I mean, it's a tough one. There's a lot of good players.
I gotta throw a Melaragno in there.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
there's only
There's
8 of 'em,
75 of
that's
them.
one.
you
and they're always
got
in it.
Carlo playing, Dave playing, Jason playing, Pete playing, Tony Senior playing. I mean, I take any of them to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so many good ones.
Again, I'm just looking forward to seeing who doesn't get picked. That's my favorite part.
We're just waiting for the drama.
Yeah.
Out a doubt. Again, we're gonna have a live podcast. You call in, talk about why you don't think you got picked, and we'll go from there. See where the podcast goes.
Yeah, that's the next thing too. We're gonna have some live shows called the Botch Talk.
Botch talk, yes.
So it'll be fun. We would love to have more in person with guests, but with us being in Columbus, it might be tough. So, but what this new software is allowing us to do is stream live a little bit easier. So
We're gonna do one at a bar in the barbershop, the Fresh Experience.
yeah,
Sound Ohio. Go ahead and check that out in Struthers.
love that. Anthony, you want to do some rapid fire?
Let's do it.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey yo,
Bing bong. Youngstown or PA Bocce?
Oh, Youngstown.
wow, that was quick.
What captain do you want to play for in the Ryder Cup?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Well, he's already on Mr. Excavator, so might as well call him.
I'm going to decline that question.
Show the people your shirt underneath
Yeah.
your Columbus.
I do have a
Bocce shirt.
Mr. X shirt on. I got a lot of shit this weekend for having Mr. X on.
Favorite day of the week. What's your favorite day of the week?
Monday,
Because of Bocce night.
because of Bocce night.
Can I ask a rapid fire question? Who's your favorite Disney character?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched Disney.
Oh, you have one. Come on. Oh, I know you watch.
He's gonna
Disney.
say
You
Jasmine.
know how I know? Because I heard
What's
you
up?
sing a couple songs to your kids.
I can show
Lion
you the
King.
world.
I don't know.
That's not a character, but all right.
Simba. I don't know.
Jeez.
Indoor or outdoor bocce?
I grew up on indoor bocce. Let's go indoor.
You grew up on indoor? With the
Abruzzi
carpet?
Club.
Yeah, the
Carpet.
there. Whatever.
You can answer, Dante.
Would you rather speak every language in the world, or would you rather be able to talk to animals?
Speak every language in the world.
So you could talk to females, huh?
Yes.
Nice.
Hey.
Hey, oh.
That was Anthony's attempt at an AO.
Ayo.
He said AO.
Joe Pesci or Robert De Niro?
Robert De Niro.
Jose or the field? Jose Boto or the field?
The field.
Wow.
The field.
Oh, all right. I mean,
He just won singles.
I mean, he's
Dante, how many people played in that singles tournament?
4 to 6 people. But hold on, 4 to 6 people PRV. With that being said, he add 20 more people, he probably would still win. Best of the best in Youngstown. I'm a Jose Boto. I'm a Jose Boto fan. I don't care because he could come to Youngstown, Ohio. It doesn't play on those type of courts or the rules, and wins both years. Best of the best. 5, 6 years, odd years ago it happened. He's not going to play. I tried to ask him if he was going to play in February. He said, quote unquote, he said. And I said, come on, people want you there. He said, no, it's time for someone else to win.
Ooh.
That's how good he is. He doesn't-
February
yeah.
where?
It's
3rd,
in
4th,
St.
and 5th
Anthony's.
St. Anthony's. You're in. You said you're in already.
Oh, yeah. I'm in. How you do?
There's no idea.
3rd,
He's gonna
4th,
be-
and
hey,
5th?
speak-
I have
hey,
his
Have we
schedule.
talked about backing out of tournaments yet?
Skip. Keep going.
Get married, Dante. It's a little different.
Bing bong.
Get married and have kids, Dante. It's much
Oh.
different.
Oh no.
I think that's all I have. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite bocce player?
Oh, that's a tough one. Favorite
this week.
this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do change every week. I don't know. I feel like a favorite bocce player?
I feel like that's a pretty straightforward question. Like,
Yeah.
who's your favorite basketball player? You
Yeah,
have,
what player
you
do you
have
like
one.
watch and play?
You know who I like watching play, honestly,
Yeah.
is Bruno. Bruno Iannetta, the GOAT.
Why can't I picture him right now?
He played with Ronaldo.
Yes, gotcha.
Watching him play, he plays for AJ Cement and Emulsani. Just knowing how good he probably was when he was younger and still how damn good he is now
Yeah.
is amazing.
It's awesome.
And I hope one day I can carry that on.
Can we talk about back to ABC, the ABC Open in Detroit? Ezio Rondog bring a guy in from Turkey, and he's never played the American way of bocce or the open rules of bocce.
He was
that we
voloing
play.
everything.
Every ball he threw was a volo, and
The
granted he was hitting him, but there's like that's not, and he didn't really
I
understand.
don't think
some
they
of the
won a
strategy.
game.
I don't know what the record was or anything like that. Who knows? But I just know that at first they're like, whoa, hold on. He can't be rolling everything. And then, like, they had to guide him on a lot of the strategy because he's never played that type of way. I thought that was pretty funny, and I had to mention it.
that was the guy Carmen Marinucci.
Carmen,
Yeah.
got in touch with, like,
Yeah.
2.5 years ago now at
Right.
this point. And he wanted to come over to America to play bocce, but he thought in Europe, it's like you could get sponsored to play. He's like, okay, who will sponsor me? He's like, whoa, slow your roll, buddy. It's not how it works in America.
Yeah.
Get a gas station to sponsor you.
He's playing with Anthony this Saturday.
Yeah. You guys give me a lot of shit. I put
Mad
on
Dog.
3
Cugini.
different teams.
Mad Cugini.
Mad Dog.
Yeah. Oh, maybe let's talk about that. I do need to clear the air about something.
What?
My frustration on the court. So,
Oh, here we go.
This is going to be interesting.
to be fair,
you have to sell.
to be
the crowd.
fair,
You have to sell
Dante checks me during games, which is I appreciate, and Chris does too. And we were talking about it on the way home from Kentucky because we got in some situations we were down and we actually came back and won, which was amazing. And I'm very self-aware. I'm a very self-aware person. My struggle, and I don't know if you guys have this, is my expectation or I know that you guys can play so well. When you don't play well, I get frustrated.
You don't fucking think I know that.
And that's the same answer I get from everyone.
Yeah.
You don't think I knew I can throw a better
Yeah.
ball?
Yeah.
The only thing you can control in those times is your own emotions.
Right.
Anything between your ears.
And not to bring the team down.
Right.
Right.
It's not that either. It's you allowing anyone else, whether it's someone else throwing well on the opposing team or your own teammate throwing poorly, the only thing you can control in that time, in that moment, is your own emotions, because your own emotions will affect the rest of the way.
Right.
Unless you're able to get rid of them quickly, which is hard for people in those settings. So you have to train yourself to say, all right, bad ball, whatever, we got to focus on the next thing.
Yeah.
Short-term memory. That's like my coach in high school football. He played for Jim Tressel. If I threw an interception, he would always look at me and say, short-term memory, we're on to the next thing. Like, you can't get mad.
Yeah.
You just got to fucking move on to the next thing. That's all that you can focus on.
I'm going to bring a plastic glove with me and just a latex glove and just take it out of my pocket and slap you with it every time
And
you
it's
get out of hand.
and like he said, if you throw a bad ball, that person, whoever threw that bad ball, they're the first person to know,
That they did it
fuck,
bad.
I screwed up.
Yeah.
And what they need in that moment is, all right, let's keep it going. You got this. I know you're a good player, and you also have to understand who that teammate is and how to talk to them and how to pump them up. You know, I really enjoyed playing with the Catullos and Robbie Lewis because we communicated well, and it was just like a seamless process. We were down to the team that won Rome.
Yeah. You guys had a
And-
big win in Wycliffe, actually.
Yeah, we came back, and it was a great comeback. And once you have those, I think once you start picking those up and you get a few of those under your belt, the next time you're in it, you're like, all right, we've been here before. What do we need to do to get out of it?
Yeah.
You just got to make your shots.
And I've learned the farther we go into tournaments, you do get mentally tired and somewhat physically tired. I mean, Dante, you shot, 80 times? You were first shooter this weekend?
My right side of the body hurts. Yeah.
I mean,
because I don't work out anymore, too.
But being first shooter, it's a lot
yeah.
of
Oh,
shooting.
without a doubt.
And I think for those teams that actually have been there more and more, they've kind of trained their body, or they know what they're about to get into. For some of the newer teams, that's an experience. And you can lose because of that, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, there are some tournaments in the beginning where after 6 hours, I'm several drinks deep, and I go into the game. I'm like, oh, this is different than last game, that's for sure. And we had Federico on here a couple episodes ago, and he mentioned, his little thing. He drinks Red Bull, and obviously that helps him because he's won several tournaments this year.
Yeah.
But
Watch
yeah.
out for that Red Bull, Chris. It ain't good for you.
But yeah, I've definitely slowed down the drinking in some of these tournaments. Depends on what tournament it is, but I feel like that's helped.
Yeah. I don't enjoy too much drinking during the tournament, but like towards the end, or if we're knocked out, if I'm knocked out,
Wait a minute.
It's on.
let the floodgates open.
I have to talk about, speaking of drinking, after the Cleveland Challenge Cup of Bocce, we go out to the Firehouse. You guys have been there.
Yep.
And we're having drinks, whatever. It's 2 a.m. We get the text, or we're looking at the Bocce Underground page, and we see 10 guys with their shirts off. The PA guys, Paisano.
Popio was in there.
Yeah.
James Oma was in there.
Right. A bunch of dudes.
A lot of things are getting taken down off of Facebook that shouldn't be, like, for breaking rules. That should have been taken down. There's no reason I should have seen any of you guys with your shirts off.
Yeah, it wasn't a good sight. So instead of going home at 2 o'clock, we're like, "Fuck it, let's go to the Airbnb with these guys." So we walk in and their shirts are all on. We're like, "Take your fucking shirts off!" so
That's hilarious.
so now we were the guys with their shirts off with them, and it was hilarious. I wish I could share some of the videos. I'm just not going to. But Paisano had this huge speech. A few other guys were singing Backstreet Boy songs and rapping, and it was, you know, we always talk about it, but these tournaments are fun to win, but I think they're more fun to hang out with everybody and do that stupid nonsense in a safe environment, of course.
I agree.
I mean, I think that's a good note to end on, unless you guys have anything else you want to touch up on. What's your favorite bocce memory?
Ooh,
Oh, that's easy for me.
same. I beat Anthony last year in King of the Court.
Here we go.
That was fun. I need to win it this year, though, or it doesn't mean anything.
My favorite bocce memory is the last 2-man one with my grandpa
Yes, I love
against
me
Dante and John.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, I'll never forget that. The crowd hated us.
Yeah, that was fun.
We had a nice bocce memory. So,
yes.
unfortunately, Dante and our grandmama passed away this year, and our hometown Italian club, the Paggiano Club, had their annual feast, and Dante, Carmen, and Anthony Marchionda started a bocce tournament there in 2018. It's a co-ed tournament, social, fun tournament, and
More family oriented.
right.
Get the family team in there, you know.
Yeah, nothing serious. And we, Dante, myself, my mom, and my dad won, and our grandma was our team name, so that was cool.
It was awesome. Yeah, shout out to everyone who participated in that. The Killa family, they were awesome.
Yeah.
It was a fun time because the Feast of Madonna di Loretta is Anthony. Maybe I don't know. Do you have any knowledge in it? You're pretty Italian.
Actually, Anthony's mom.
Yeah, that was
Is
the
that where
crazy
you're gonna go
part.
ahead?
Yeah,
go ahead.
so in Pagentro in Italy, they have this feast called Feast of Madonna di Loretta, where the whole town shuts down and they're in the center. You know, it's a whole thing. They're carrying the statue. They have the chains, the rosary around it, and regardless, it's this huge feast. Anyway, Mrs. Cugini comes because Paul's in the tournament, and she talks about how, if you're not aware, Anthony's parents are both from Italy. They both came over on the boat when they were around 10 or 12 years old. And Mrs. Cugini is telling me, like, yeah, I remember I went to the the feast in Italy, the real one. My mother brought me, but I don't remember where it's at. And I was like, there's a really solid shot. It was in Pagentro, and she was from around that area, I believe, literally a town over. Which was awesome to see. And she was just like, head over heels was just everything. Like, was emotional about it, which, touched
she
me.
loved it.
They had the mass, so we have pool play. So you get 2 games in to get your seating, and then we break for mass, which we then were very involved in. We did not know how involved we were going to be.
So bocce is just a small part of this fest, right? And they created it just to get more people involved. We need more younger people just to stick around more for the fest, right? Because as a lot of these clubs are getting older, right? So we have the mass, and there is well over 100, 200 people there, I would say, at least-ish, right? And then afterwards, they're like, all right, we need 4 people to carry the statue around as the band plays, and we do the march.
So yeah, we get dressed like altar boys,
Carrying alcohol.
yeah. So we're
carrying the Madonna.
Oh, we're carrying. Well, luckily they upgraded the carrying it up until like a year ago. They put it on wheels, so we just held pieces of wood and rolled that baby around a parking lot with some potholes around.
Yeah. It was us, Carmen Marinucci, and Nick Danella, our cousin.
But yeah, we're all cousins actually in that, which is funny enough. All for family originating from Pagentro. And then at the end of it, we're handed 4 glasses of vino. And then there's the race.
Yeah, so the race in Italy is up or down a mountain, and they run barefoot. These kids come back, and their feet are all cut up and everything, right? So here in Youngstown, up in Youngstown, we
with how many potholes would be dangerous to run barefoot.
Right. Which
Anthony's never seen potholes. He's from the suburbs.
Which remind me, I have something to say on that. So what they do is they put you in the back of a truck, and they drive you over across to the bridge. They drop you off, and they say, all right, go. And you have to run 0.8 miles back up the hill up to the club in Youngstown. Well, typically there's kids 16 plus there, and this year, for whatever reason, there really wasn't that many. So the guy comes over to me, Dante, or my cousin Nick, Carmen Marinucci, a few other guys, and they say, if you guys don't run this race, we have to cancel it. It'll be the first time in 100 and whatever years.
No pressure.
So I just ate a steak sandwich, had alcohol, same with everybody else, and we're like, you know what, screw it, let's do it. We'll start off slow and we'll go. So we hop in the truck, Dante's with us, it starts raining, we get over to the bridge, and we're like, this is a terrible idea, like someone's gonna get injured. My mom didn't want me to do it, and I'm like, Mom, I'm a freaking athlete, I'm gonna do it, like I'm not that old yet.
Do it for Johnny.
Yeah,
do
it for Johnny, man. So we start going, and everyone's together. I'm like, all right, this is good. And then Carmen Marinucci starts leading the pack. I'm like, Carmen, I thought we were riding together. He's like, I feel good.
Guarantee he dies out.
So I just started. I'm like, all right. I started going a little bit faster, and I see my dad sitting or standing up top of the hill, and I'm like, all right, I gotta sprint. So I just started running.
Did he try to catch you?
Yeah, they couldn't, though. I had a pretty good lead. So I broke away from everyone. As I'm running by my dad, he's like, come on, boy, pick him up, boy. And I'm like,
where were you?
I rode in the back of the truck filming. So I was in the back.
Yeah.
So I was in the back of the truck, dropped him off, and just said, see ya. Stayed in the back of the truck. I can't run.
So how many people ran this?
There was only like 6.
It was like him and Carmen.
Yeah. It was, him and Carmen. There was a couple.
Me, Carmen, Nick. There was 6 of us.
2 or 3 others. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so there's that eating contest, and then the last thing I want to touch up on this festival, which they still do a part of it, but they don't give the same prize. It's the chicken throwing competition.
Yeah.
So there's this wooden cutout chicken rooster hanging on a fence.
It's a rooster.
Hanging on a fence, and then you pay $1. And it's mostly kids. You pay $1 to step on up. You get a rock in your hand, and you get a chance to throw a rock. You get maybe 3 chances to throw one of those rocks, hit the wooden cutout rooster. It's pretty heavy, and hit it so it falls over. It's like on a latch.
Got
right?
it.
So if you were to hit it over, you get your $1 back plus another $1, right, or maybe a $5 spot.
I don't
back
know.
in the day, I think that's how.
It's probably
it
a
was
real
go.
chicken you got.
Well, or
Yeah.
you could defer the dollars and you get a real
You get a real chicken. There are chickens in cages, and they're like, all right, this is yours.
Nice.
Yeah. And I remember one year, I think Uncle Tilio won, and we ran loose around they were running around like Rocky Balboa trying to catch the chicken. Well, yeah, they would take them home, chop them up, eat them, serve for the next week. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in.
Favorite memory I'll never forget from my grandma? Walking downstairs, seeing her put a rabbit on a noose, slice the neck, and rip off the skin like nothing. And
Was
goes,
the noose necessary?
It was necessary to slice the neck.
Yeah.
I'll never get that memory out of mind. But that's what they did in the old days.
Yeah.
So that chicken pie was a lot for them.
Oh, no, that chicken was a delicacy. Also, rabbit's a delicacy.
Yeah.
Grandpa had a what was it? I think it was maybe it was a lamb.
Lamb, yeah.
I remember its eyes in the basement were like this because it was dead. It was wild.
Yeah, I don't understand why no one else was going to school with a 6-inch prosciutto sandwich. Provolone. I didn't get any ho-hos.
Nutella and bread was what my mom thought was healthy back in the day. Well, that's what I grew up on.
It's so funny.
That's the best, though. We're making wine here soon.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah?
That's exciting.
You guys have been making wine for a little while, right?
Yeah, we just got I think I got 12, 24, 48 bottles from last year, or 2 years ago. So we're going to bottle the next year and make the next year.
Yeah. Keeping the traditions alive, baby.
Trying. We'll bring a bottle for Frank and team so they can test it out.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say, if you're listening to this, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube and check out the live streams that are going to be happening this weekend, which is October 1st, and then also again at the High Stakes, October 22nd. We're going to do it all up. We're going to have the multiple camera angles. We're going to have people in the booth. We're going to have our sponsors. So please support us, subscribe, check us out. You guys want to sign us off?
That's it. Episode 27. We're out. Ciao.
Later.